After a long wait, the competition is finally back. And to kick it off, we have RW the Gamer T. This is his first time competing in this competition, so he might have some trouble trying to figure out techniques for some of the older obstacles that a lot of the competitors competing later on have already seen before in their previous attempts. A lot of obstacles on this course specifically are new, including this one, Log Slide. But RW makes it look easy as he's now into Gridlock, which maybe is the toughest obstacle on this stage. And RW quickly goes down on the third obstacle, missing the jump to the fourth gear. And the first run of the day ending quickly. Well, after a quick exit from RW the Gamer T, Kanky is up next on stage 1, and he's looking to have a breakout performance, as he's also a rookie on this competition. And Kanky begins his run on stage 1, and he quickly makes it through that first obstacle, as we saw RW make it through these first two obstacles extremely well. But Kanky slips up on that final drop. He might have thought he had the dismount, but he comes up short. As previously mentioned, Stage 1 has been entirely redesigned and presents these competitors with many new challenges to overcome. The first of these obstacles is Archer Alley, which requires you to make your way across 3 steps that will rotate depending on your precision. The second obstacle is Log Slide. You're required to grab onto a log, hang on as it slides down a track consisting of 2 drops to test your strength. The third obstacle on stage 1 is Gridlock, a brutal test of timing and precision requiring perfectly timed jumps across 4 rotating gears. Following that is Skyhooks, a long upper body test requiring perfect timed jumps to traverse from hook to hook. Sonic Curve is yet another new obstacle, and it requires competitors to quickly run across all steps and then jump to the rope and swing to safety. Warped Wall is the only obstacle returning from a previous appearance, but it's much tougher than before. Razor's Edge requires perfect balance to maneuver 3 angled boards that will fall on contact. Giant Chain is the final test on this stage. You must grab onto a rope, swing and climb up the chain to reach the buzzer and complete the course. You must complete all 8 obstacles in 90 seconds or you will be eliminated. Let's head back down to the course. The third competitor on stage 1 this time around is It's Foamy, who's the first returning competitor we've seen so far. But last time he didn't do so well, failing the first obstacle, that being floating steps, in last tournament. I'm assuming, and hoping as well, he's looking for a better result here today, as Foamy is about to begin his run here on Tournament 3, as he's on the first obstacle and completes it. Now on to Log Slide. We just saw our last competitor, Kanky, go down on the last drop, but he completes it. On to Gridlock. We haven't seen anybody complete this obstacle so far, and Foamy moving quickly through, gets on that final gear, and is the first to complete the Gridlock. Foamy on to Skyhooks. Now this one is long, but it is very, very precision-based. You have to be very careful with your timing throughout these jumps, and Foamy went just too late trying to get to that last hook and comes up short. Mentioned previously how specific you have to be, and we see it right there. Next up on stage 1 is yet another rookie, Islanders JJ. I've not seen him on any other ninja competitions, so this might be one of his first attempts at a course in his career, so I'm excited to see how he fares on stage 1. I mean, the bar has not been set too high by these first couple competitors. I'd imagine he just doesn't want to fail the first obstacle, Archer Alley, on his first run, although I'd hope that's the hope for any newcomer, not just Islanders, as he will quickly make his way through the first obstacle. So it won't be entirely a disappointing first go, and of course he's through the second obstacle, and he's showing a bit of speed here, going quickly. You want to slow down for this jump, and we see why right there. Islanders comes up short on that fourth jump. While it feels like the competition's just begun, we're already on our fifth competitor, and this is Blaze Powder, who is also a rookie, although unlike Islanders, I have seen him compete in other courses before, although with mixed results. He certainly has the potential to do well on this competition, and just as I say that, he fails the first obstacle. So, potential gone. Well, if you're wondering what just happened, as much as I am, I asked the principal at my school to put something together, and that is what I got back. Anyways, next up on stage 1 is Beastek, I think that's how you pronounce it, who is, to no one's surprise, yet another rookie. Hopefully he does better than our last couple competitors who have not done great on this course, but Beast is through the first obstacle, moving on to the log slide, and slips off on the first drop, so not a great performance. Next up on stage 1 is Epic Oliver 318, who embarrassingly failed Broken Bridge last season, which, in all honesty, I wasn't sure that was even possible, but here we are. So hopefully he fares better this time around than he did last season, and maybe he can even redeem himself, but given the first couple results we've seen so far this tournament, I really don't know. And here he goes! Epic Oliver makes his way through the first obstacle, now onto the log slide. We've seen a couple people struggle with this. He having a bit of issues trying to get locked in, but does. And now onto Gridlock, taking his time, and perfect technique on that last jump, and Epic Oliver starting to redeem himself here, but we have not seen anyone complete Skyhook so far. Only Foamy has made it this far, but we have not seen anyone complete it. Epic Oliver gets on that last hook, and he is now gotten the farthest out of anyone so far, and will give us our first look at Sonic Curve. Making his way around the steps, gets to the rope, now just needs the dismount, and he's through and onto the warped wall. Now this has been redesigned from last time, and he misses the blocker regen. The height on the wall is a bit higher, and the angle as well is a bit further back, and he's missed now on his second attempt as well. He's got about 20 seconds left to complete this stage 1. He misses on his last 3 attempts now on the warped wall, and Epic Oliver still can't get up the warped wall. I don't even know if he's gonna have time to get up. He's got one last chance, and he still can't get up the warped wall, and he will time out on the 6th obstacle. A tough ending to a much better run than last time, so props to him for having a much better performance. Still a great run. Next up on stage 1 is Adhika32, formerly known as Strawberry or Adhesimol. He's the host of Sasuke Dynamite and used to host Sasuke Starhammer. He ran last time around where he made it all the way to the third obstacle of stage 2, which was Wicked Wingnuts. So, let's see how he does this time around. Adhika on to the third step, gets the dismount quickly through that first obstacle. This one's been an issue trying to get your hands locked initially, but otherwise has not been much of a challenge. And Gridlock has been brutal. He goes extremely quickly and gets through onto Skyhooks. We just saw Epic Oliver complete this, so I'd assume he has a bit of reference to go off of for strategy, but mistimes the jump to that fourth hook and comes up short. Another competitor mistimes a jump. Following Adhika's run is AA6ers Fan 2. He's a very talented mobile competitor, which makes doing specific obstacles much more challenging than if he was running the course on a computer. And given nobody's even attempted all 8 obstacles on this stage 1 so far, it'd be even more of an accomplishment if he's able to be the first competitor to complete this stage 1, as he's now through the second obstacle, moving quite quickly. Now, the jump to the 4th gear on this obstacle has been a bit of a challenge and almost undershoots, but gets on. Now, on to Skyhooks. We just saw Adhika fail on this jump right here. It's a bit of a weird strategy he's using. It's kind of unlocking the ring a bit to get more of a swing to make the transition, but it works out for him, as he is now only the second to complete Skyhooks and is into the Sonic Curve. We saw Epic Oliver complete this obstacle, so he will have a bit of reference to go off of for completing the obstacle, and he does so with ease as he's into the Warped Wall. Now, we've not seen anyone get through this, and AA6ers Fan is up in the first try and on to Razor's Edge. Now, this one, a quick obstacle, but you have to be careful, and he is through perfectly. One obstacle to go, it's Giant Chain. He's got 20 seconds on the clock, just gotta get the dismount, and he will be the first competitor to complete the first stage. An AA6ers Fan, a mobile competitor, able to move on to stage 2. Well, I believe it is time for everyone's favorite fast forward segment, where we take a brief look at some condensed versions of runs, because I don't want to edit stuff. Alright, next up is Polish Player 4, or Roblox Polish Player 4, who had an embarrassing fail on the first obstacle. Very embarrassing. Following Polish Player was DPS13452, another rookie who is looking to have a breakout performance just like every other rookie. He did a great job on Skyhooks, completing the obstacle, became the third to do so, and then became the second to get up the Warped Wall, and completed stage 1 with about 5 seconds left, and will join AA6ers Fan on stage 2 next episode. So, great job to him. He took a wonderful dive into the water. And following him was Robotic Ninja Pros, who's also a rookie, which is starting to become a very common theme. Robotic just walked off the third gear. Following Robotic is CJ Prince. I'm not gonna pronounce the full username, because just why? Why do people put in XX in their username? But they had a hilarious fail where they missed the mount onto the second obstacle. How do you do that? Up next on the first stage is Kovben3913, who is also a rookie, hoping probably not to follow up the last run, which didn't end too well given they missed the mount onto the second obstacle. But Kovben is getting going on stage 1, onto Archer Alley, and completes it, now into the log slide. And he does not miss the mount, so did better than our last attempt. And completes the obstacle, now into the gridlock. Now this one, bit of a challenge on this last jump, but gets it. And Skyhooks, specifically the jump, I think it's the second transition right here. This jump specifically has been the toughest part. And Kovbin lands it. One more to go. Needs to get onto that 6th hook. And Kovbin, good timing, completes it and will make the dismount as Kovbin 3913 is onto the Sonic Curve. Nobody's failed this so far. Both competitors that have reached this point have done a good job of getting through, and Kovbin will continue that tradition of completing the Sonic Curve as he's now into the warped wall. And not able to get up on his first try. He's got about 25 seconds left. Looking not to pull an Epic Oliver and time up on the warped wall. He's not going to as he completes it. Right into Razor's Edge, becomes the 3rd to complete that, and 1 obstacle to go in the giant chain. Gotta land on this chain and climb up. He's got plenty of time. As long as he doesn't go too slow, he will be okay, and he is! Clearing with just under 2 minutes to go. Kovbin will be moving on to the 2nd stage. Next up to take on this rigged competition is everyone's favorite competitor, Markstick Luke. He is beloved by the Roblox Ninja community for various reasons, but his performances on the course have not been as great as his reputation, and he is hoping to change that today, as he is quickly through the first obstacle and showing that magical skill of breaking every game he joins. Mark now on to the 2nd obstacle, struggling to stay on and slips off before he can make the dismount, continuing his wonderful tradition of failing the 2nd obstacle. Following the beloved Markstick Luke is Hallucination, who's making their first appearance on the course, but they have done quite well in some other competitions, so Hallow has a good chance of doing well tonight. Even though Hallow is a rookie, bit of some high hopes for me for Hallucination, as Hallow uses a bit of an interesting strategy. A lot of competitors will either go specifically for speed or specifically for precision, but Hallow goes for both. Doesn't go too fast, but also doesn't go too slow. So I think that could certainly help him here on a course that's kind of a mix. It's precision, but you also have to go fast enough to where you don't time up, as Hallow is into this last transition on skyhooks, makes the transition, just needs the dismount, and Hallow is now into the Sonic Curve. Now, all of the competitors who have reached this point have made it at least to warped wall. Epic Oliver timed up on the warped wall. The rest of the field that got to this point has completed stage 1. Nobody's failed Giant Chain or Razor's Edge. Hallow looking to get up on their first try and does. Best attempt we've seen on the warped wall here tonight. Haven't seen anyone go down on Razor's Edge, and that will continue here. Giant Chain, the final obstacle, has not taken out anyone so far, and Hallow going quickly and will have the fastest time so far with almost 15 seconds, maybe more, left. After a spectacular showing by Hallow, It's Robin is next up on stage 1. Now, Robin has plenty of experience in ninja competitions as she's been competing for many years, although we will have to see how much that experience affects this run, as a lot of competitors still have an issue with nerves and pressure during the middle of the runs. It kind of gets in your head a bit. Regardless of how much practice or experience you have, that really never goes away, as Robin will get started on this attempt on stage 1, and we'll get through the first obstacle extremely quickly. On to Log Slide. We've seen a couple issues with the dismount, and Robin now into the gridlock. And Robin, early on stage 1, goes down. A shocking exit. Well, following up a surprisingly early exit for Robin is Yuchan98765. Now, Yuchan has competed in a few ninja competitions in the past, although to my knowledge has not gotten any super notable results, so she's hoping this competition could help her break out, as she is right through the first obstacle. Log Slide's been an issue, mostly on this last drop. A lot of competitors have made an early dismount, but Yuchan perfectly through the first 2 obstacles. Now, we just saw Robin fail that jump to the 2nd gear. We saw a lot of people fail that jump to the 4th gear. No problem for Yuchan, as she's now into the skyhooks onto that third hook, needs to make this transition. This might be the hardest part, and Yu-chan makes it look easy. Yu-chan, perfect timing so far on stage 1. And onto that final hook, Yu-chan's completed the sky hooks, and now into Sonic Curve. Now we've seen Epic Oliver fail Warped Wall, and everyone else who's reached Sonic Curve has completed stage 1. Now Yu-chan completes it as well, and is on to the Warped Wall with about half a minute to go. Now looking to get up on her first try, and will do so. Yu-chan will have about 25 seconds for these final 2 obstacles, as she's right through Razor's Edge, and into the giant chain with about 20 seconds on the clock. Needs to climb up this chain and get to the top. Taking her time, gets to the top and slips off the edge! Missed the last jump of the stage! Well, after a heartbreaking end to what was nearly a perfect run by Yu-chan, it's time for everyone's favorite fast forward section. And first up is Blocky Yes Bubble No 2, who is also a mobile competitor, similar to AA6ers Fan 2. And Blocky, a lot of experience as well. A lot of good results, surprisingly, for a mobile player. Has done extremely well in some other competitions, even making it, I believe, to stage 3 in a couple of them, and he will make it to stage 2 in this one as he hits the buzzer and becomes the next person to complete stage 1. And following Blocky was Min Ninja 712, who, like Blocky, is a experienced competitor, but he is a rookie in this competition. And Min Ninja looking to break out in his first season of Rising Ninja Warrior, and he had a great performance, making it up the Warped Wall in his first try and becoming the next competitor to complete the first stage. Another spectacular run by some of these younger competitors. And on the course currently is Fragile as Agile, a veteran host of Robloxian SASUKE, but he struggled on the gridlock, took a bit too much time, and got mixed up on that third gear and undershot the fourth. Following Fragile was Ozway Rise Up, who's a veteran that didn't fare too well last time around on the course, as he did not complete stage 1 last time around, but this time had a much better showing. Although he missed his first chance on the Warped Wall, got up on his second, and Ozway put a spectacular performance into the history books, and will be moving on to the second stage in the next episode. Next up is So Whatever Dude, who used to host Dude Warrior, but I believe it was discontinued a while ago, although he still maintains some skill at running the course. So we'll have to see if his skills in the booth will translate to the course here tonight, as he will begin his run on stage 1. And so we'll quickly complete that first obstacle, similar to pretty much any competitor that isn't a rookie. And is also through the second obstacle and on to Gridlock. Now this one has been a bit of a challenge, specifically on this last transition, but So Whatever Dude completes it and is into the skyhooks. And we'll complete that first transition. Now this one, for whatever reason, has been tougher than the other two, and So Whatever Dude becomes the next victim of the skyhooks. Next up on stage 1 is Coolio. He made his first appearance last season, where he made it all the way to the Wicked Wingnuts on stage 2, so he has some high expectations this time around and is hoping to make it further than before. And he is very quick on ninja competitions. He loves to go fast, and you already see it here early on as Coolio quickly moving through these first couple obstacles. Although he will want to slow down for that jump, he does a bit and it works out, and is now on to skyhooks. Now we just saw So Whatever Dude fall short of this fourth hook here, and Coolio times it perfectly. And one more transition, Coolio's got it, and will have the dismount and is on to the Sonic Curve. This obstacle has not been failed so far, Coolio hoping not to be the first, as he will grab the rope and just needs to dismount, and he's got it. Coolio completes the fifth obstacle and will now be into the Warped Wall. This one can be a challenge, if you haven't practiced it much, and Coolio knows exactly how to do it, gets up perfectly. That might be even smoother than Hallow's attempt at the warped wall, as he's right through Razor's Edge. Bit of an issue with the rope. Oh my goodness, you see the speed as Coolio will complete stage 1. My goodness, he can go so fast. Following maybe the best run so far tonight from Coolio is not Banna. Wait, no, it is Banna. You get what I'm trying to say here, right? Anyways, Banna has plenty of experience in Roblox Ninja and has gotten many good results in various competitions, but is looking for a great performance on the Rising Ninja Warrior course here tonight, as he's already on the second obstacle, and a perfect technique on log slide will get him through without any issues, as he's going quickly on gridlock, and it will cost him as he slips off on the transition to that 4th gear. Next up is Half Mickey Boy. He's yet another rookie looking for a good performance on stage 1 here tonight. He is fairly new to Roblox Ninja, so we'll have to see how well he does as he begins his run on stage 1 and completes the first obstacle with ease. Now into the second obstacle, using this awkward strategy I've seen a couple of people try, and he almost slipped off at the end, but just hung on long enough to complete the log slide and will perfectly time gridlock as into the sky hooks, and will complete the first transition. Now needs to grab onto that second ring. Second transition, he has got it. And last transition coming up here, and Half Mickey Boy just needs to dismount, and he has completed the sky hooks and is now into Sonic Curve, which has not been failed so far tonight. And from the looks of it, I don't know if anybody is going to fail it, as Half Mickey Boy completes it as well, and Half Mickey Boy is now into the warped wall, and did not activate the regen for the wall blocker, and will somehow get up on his first try, and is into the Razor's Edge. Half Mickey Boy's got about 20 seconds on the clock, so he can take his time climbing up the chain, doesn't need to rush things at all. And he will climb up fast anyways, and we'll have about 10 seconds left on the clock as he completes the first stage. Following Half Mickey Boy is Sports Ant 123, who looks to be another rookie to complete stage 1. Now, I don't know much about him, but I've seen him a couple times on other competitions, so I'm not exactly sure what to expect here as he begins his run on stage 1. Completes the first obstacle, now into log slide, and he will use the strategy I was expecting people to use. It's really the more efficient strategy, at least I think, and he's now into gridlock, which we've seen be a challenge for some competitors. He almost undershot that 3rd gear. If he almost undershot that one, I thought he'd have trouble with the 4th, but he completes gridlock, although he wasted a lot of time as he's only got a minute left going into skyhooks. A lot of competitors have 40 seconds left headed into the Sonic Curve. He might have 40 seconds left when he completes this obstacle. And Sports Ant will have about 40 seconds left heading into the Sonic Curve, so I thought he wasted a bit of time, but I guess not, as he's into the rope section of Sonic Curve and completes it, and we'll be moving on to the warped wall. He's got about 25 seconds on the clock, so not much room for error as he missed the regen for the blocker, similar to a couple other competitors so far, but makes it up on his first try. 15 seconds left. Sports Ant needs to go quickly. We'll have no time to go slow. He has to rush up the chain. Sports Ant climbing up. Come on, can he get to the top? He is able to, but he will run out of time at the top of the chain and slip off into the water. After another heartbreaking fail at the last jump of stage 1, it's time for everyone's favorite fast forward section. And first up this time around is DJ Dilly, who is not excited at all to compete on this competition. And I'm gonna be entirely honest, I've never seen him complete a stage 1 before. Maybe I just haven't seen it personally, maybe he has, I don't really know. So I'm assuming he has. Maybe I really don't know, but he's taken about 15 seconds to make the dismount of skyhooks. Although he did go pretty quick on Sonic Curve and completed that one, and he had a lot of complaints about the warped wall before his run, and I can understand why, as he walked off the course and just gave up. Following DJ's heroic act of giving up and walking off the course is Crushed Can of Air, another rookie who's looking for a breakout performance similar to like half the field in this competition. He did have a pretty good performance though, as he completed skyhooks, made it up the warped wall in his first attempt, and made it all the way to Giant Chain, where he thought he crushed the course until he realized there's actually a time limit on this competition, and he timed up at the top of the chain, which is very sad. Truly heartbreaking. Well, next up, I tried negotiating with Nickelodeon, but we had to go to Walmart, as next up is Super SpongeBob 303, not from the show. Please don't sue me. And he had a pretty good performance, making it through skyhooks. He is a rookie as well, and he made it up the warped wall in his first try, and unlike Crushed Can of Air, he went slow. He just went fast on the rest of the course, and he did complete stage 1, but not with much time left. Well, following a wonderful performance from the Walmart SpongeBob is Dragon Master 0629, who believes that everyone should get a free redo. No, I'm not kidding. That actually happened. Anyways, he had a pretty good performance on stage 1. This is the first time I've ever seen him run a competition, so he did extremely well. Made it up the warped wall, not on his first try, but on his second attempt, and almost undershot the mount onto the chain. Took pretty much his entire life to get up, but he completed the course with about, I think it was 0.07 seconds left on the clock. Pretty much as close as you can get. Maybe he thought he timed up. Maybe that's why he wanted a redo. I mean, it makes sense. I'd do it. Because our next competitor is a fan of Sasuke, I let him skip the first obstacle. No, it's just a mid-cut. But he did fail on skyhooks on the jump that somehow is harder than the rest, I guess? I don't know. Thank goodness that fast-forward section's over, as next up on the course is Kurumi, the self-proclaimed goddess of mobile on Roblox Ninja competitions. And we'll have to see exactly how true that is, as we have some pretty good mobile competitors competing on this competition. We've already had some pretty good performances out of some of the mobile competitors, including Blocky and AA6ers fan 2. But Kurumi pretty much goes as fast as any other competitor. She wants the fastest time on every competition she competes in, and it has been her downfall a couple of times. Regardless of the stage, she will try and get the fastest time, even if there's no time limit. But she's right through skyhooks. Feels like the run just started, and she is already on a Sonic Curve, the fastest time to this point, with, I think, 55 seconds left. Going into Sonic Curve, about 15 seconds ahead of every other competitor that has made it to this point we've seen so far. Will not miss the regen for the blocker, and is into Razor's Edge with 35 seconds left. This could be on point for the fastest time tonight. 30 seconds for the final obstacle. Could take her time, she's not going to, and she is right through Giant Chain and will complete the course with 23 seconds left. It is going to be extremely hard to top that run. That's by a mile the fastest time tonight. I believe by nearly 10 seconds. And next up is Square Oswald, who has done extremely well in a lot of the testing sessions, has completed stage 1 multiple times. So he certainly has some high expectations here for the competition this time around, as he's through the second obstacle and into Gridlock. He's going fast as well, maybe going for that fastest time. It is going to be a challenge, though. You really can't slow down if you're going for that fastest time. You gotta be as quick as you possibly can. And Square maybe on pace as well. Onto that final transition here on Skyhooks, taking a bit more time on Skyhooks than Kurumi did. He's about, I believe, 5 seconds behind her time to this point in the Sonic Curve with 50 seconds left on the clock. And yeah, still 5 seconds behind Kurumi's time, and there's really not any spot right now to make up that amount of time. As she was pretty much perfect on every obstacle throughout this course, and yeah, he's not gonna get the fastest time as he messed up the warped wall in his first attempt, looking to get up on his second attempt, missed it, and now time's starting to become an issue as he has 20 seconds left. He will get up on his third attempt. He's got about 15 seconds for these final 2 obstacles, which will not give him the luxury of going slow on Giant Chain. He has about 10 seconds left for this final obstacle. Gotta make it up the chain. He goes fast, and he got it! Square Oswald will move on to the second stage, completing the course with about 1.5 seconds left. Well, that's 2 consecutive runs that have ended in a Stage 1 completion, and it could be 3 as our next competitor, Blue Tide's RBLX, made it all the way to the cliffhanger on Stage 3 last time around. He's the host of Tidal Warrior and formerly Blue Ninja Warrior, and he had a great performance on the last tournament and is looking to repeat that here this time around, but will not as he goes down on the first obstacle. Slips up on Archer Alley, and a huge mistake cost him his tournament. Following a shocking exit from Blue Tides is It's Turtwig 1, who took about 55 hours practicing his entrance to Stage 1. And here he goes on Stage 1. Hopefully that practice can pay off. It'd be pretty funny if it didn't. But he completes the first obstacle, into the second one, perfect strategy, and into Gridlock. We'll have to see his strategy here. He is going quick, but slowing down for this last jump here, and got it. Perfect technique on Gridlock. And now into the Skyhooks. Taking a bit of time, kind of sizing up that transition, trying to time it correctly. And he's got that second transition, needs one more. And Turtwig just needs to dismount, and he has completed the Skyhooks. It is now into Sonic Curve, which has not been failed so far. Every competitor who's made it to this point has at least made it to the warped wall. And Turtwig will keep that streak going, as he will now make it to the warped wall. I've seen some competitors miss the regen for the blocker, but Turtwig will not, and he got up on his first try. Perfect attempt at the warped wall there, and he's right through Razor's Edge. One more obstacle to go, got about 25 seconds. He can take his time making his way up the chain, and he will, and Turtwig will join a large group of competitors who will move on to the second stage. Alright, almost done at it. There's another fast forward section. Hey, which one of you wrote the script for this thing? Well, after a brief miscommunication between the producers of this wonderful show and me, Elmo the Jokester will be taking on Stage 1 and his rookie tournament. He's looking to make a name for himself here on Rising Ninja Warrior as he got up the warped wall on his first try and breezed through the first stage, becoming the next competitor to move on to Stage 2, although he almost slipped up at the end of the chain. Saved himself and will be moving on to the second stage. Great run out of Elmo. Following the cameo out of Elmo from Sesame Street, please don't sue me, is Kaz Keda. I think that's how you pronounce that one. Sorry if I mispronounced it. He made it through the course very quickly, almost perfect on the warped wall. Maybe one of the best runs I've seen today, as he will also be advancing to the second stage. A great performance out of the young competitor. Next up on Stage 1 is Roblox Ninja legend Tobiz12345, host of Ultimate Ninja Challenge. He got first place in SASUKE Roblox 1, but made a crucial mistake on the gridlock, tried going too fast. Following a shocking exit from Tobiz is Skillicle, formerly known as Skillful Jack. He has a great reputation, especially in Ninja Coolio Warrior, which was canceled about a year and a half ago. But he had a consistent set of results of making it far, mostly to stage 2, but he certainly has a lot of potential and has done well in this competition as well, but still looking for that breakout performance. Has not reached stage 3 before in this competition and is hoping for that to change here this time around as he completes that first transition on skyhooks and completes the second. One more transition on skyhooks, and Skillful Jack, or Skillicle, pardon me, is through the skyhooks and is now into Sonic Curve. Nobody has gone down on this obstacle so far, and Skillicle will grab onto the rope and will make the dismount and is onto the warped wall, the 6th obstacle on this course. It's shown a bit of struggle from some of these competitors, including some like DJ, Dilly, and a couple others, but Skillicle completes it with ease and has about 25 seconds for this final obstacle, so he can take his time, will not need to rush up the chain. He will rush up either way, and Skillicle will complete stage 1 with about 15 seconds left, and he will be moving on to stage 2. Well, next up on stage 1 is Dog, host of Dog Ninja Warrior. Had a bit of an early exit last time around as he went down on rope reverse, and looking for a bit of a better result here this time around as he will begin his run on stage 1. He's quickly through Archer Alley. Now this one has been a bit of an issue for a couple competitors, taking an interesting strategy, but it works out for him as he's into Gridlock, going a bit quickly. Gotta be careful on this last one, and he will get through Gridlock and is now into Skyhooks. He has a good pace so far, taking a bit of time on skyhooks, but it's not a problem given he's gone pretty quickly so far. I probably won't get the fastest time given the pace he's going at currently, but he will have about 50 seconds or so heading into the Sonic Curve, about 3-ish seconds behind Karumi's time to this point. So likely not gonna get the fastest time. But Dog with a spectacular performance so far, but there's still 3 obstacles left, and we'll have about 35 seconds for those 3 obstacles. He will get up Warped Wall in his first attempt, a perfect strategy on that obstacle, and Razor's Edge will not pose a challenge to Dog. He's got 25 seconds for the final obstacle as he almost undershoots the giant chain, but he will stay on and get to the top, and Dog just needs the dismount, and he has completed stage 1 with about 10 seconds left, and he will be moving on to the second stage. Well, next up on stage 1 is Fion Jr. 11, who achieved 2nd place in Tournament 1, reaching it all the way to the flip hanger, I believe is what it was called. Not my brightest moment, but it's certainly an obstacle name. But Fion, last time around, only made it to the 3rd obstacle of stage 2, making a crucial mistake on the Wicked Wingnuts. This time around, hoping to get back to stage 3 and conquer the cliffhanger, which is much different than the first time he took it on, and he goes down on Gridlock! He rushed it and made the mistake that so many have tonight. Hey Larry, why is there another one of these? It's like we almost didn't have time to finish this or something. Well, kicking off this next and hopefully last fast-forward section of the episode is Longshot Arrow, who showed how scared of the course he was when he went backwards on the 2nd obstacle. And somehow he did better than the guy who went forwards and missed the mount. But Longshot Arrow completed Warped Wall in his 2nd attempt and made it up the giant chain, although had a close call to begin his ascent. Almost went down on the 8th obstacle of stage 1, but still will be moving on to the 2nd stage. Following a spectacular Stage 1 performance from Longshot is Yas12345, who has the bragging rights of the only person who failed Dragon Glider last tournament, which is not really an accomplishment, as much as it is just embarrassing, but he redeemed himself this time around with a completion of Stage 1 with about 3 seconds left on the clock, and he will be moving on to Stage 2. Well, currently completing the second obstacle is, I'm just gonna call him Korra, because I don't want to even try and pronounce that, but he had a good performance, but struggled on the warped wall, missing on his first couple attempts, finally got up, but did not have enough time, and slipped off the bottom of Giant Chain. Well, next up on Stage 1 is one of the most accomplished competitors in Roblox Ninja. It's Andrastical, who made it to Stage 3 of SASUKE Roblox Tournament 3, and all the way to the top of, I guess, a tree in Ninja Coolio Warrior 25, where he became the grand champion of the final season of one of the most popular Roblox Ninja competitions. And he's currently on Gridlock, taking a perfect amount of time for each jump. A great strategy from Andrastical, as he's now into the skyhooks. And he makes that first transition with ease. Now, this one's been a bit of a challenge for some competitors, but Andrastical showing no issue with this fourth obstacle as he completes it and is now into the Sonic Curve, which has not been failed at all here tonight. And given the next three competitors' track record on competitions, I'd imagine it will not change, as he's now into Warped Wall. Regens the blocker, unlike a couple competitors tonight, but gets up perfectly on his first try and is into Razor's Edge. He's got about 30 seconds left on the clock, so plenty of time for this final obstacle. And he will still not take his time and will get up with the second fastest time of the night, with 18 seconds left on the clock. Well, following Andrastical is Basebeak, who is the only competitor in the testing sessions to have completed Stage 3. Nobody else has completed it in its entirety during a testing session. And Basebeak last time made it all the way to the second to last obstacle of Stage 3, but came up short on the Mount of Window Hang, which I still don't know how that happened. But he's on to Gridlock currently. He's very efficient on every stage. No real issues with any of these obstacles. Pretty much consistent on every obstacle on this course, which is why he's such a great competitor in this competition, as he's easily making his way through skyhooks using that similar strategy we saw to a couple competitors, where you kind of tilt that ring a bit to try and get it unlocked a bit, as he's now into Sonic Curve. Previously mentioned, nobody's failed this so far, and Basebeak will continue that streak as he's now into the Warped Wall. We've seen this pose a bit of a challenge for a couple competitors in terms of time. A couple competitors have timed up or lost a lot of time from it. He will not have that issue, as he's right into Razor's Edge with about 25 seconds left for the Giant Chain. He might be able to beat Andrastical's time, actually. It's going to be close, and I think Andrastical beat his time by about a second, maybe less, as Basebeak with a spectacular Stage 1 performance. Well, next up, I think you all know who it is. It is Bean Kirby, or Basebeak, who is the only champion of Rising Ninja Warrior, as he made it up the final tower and completed all 4 stages last tournament, and is currently onto the log slide. Now, Basebeak loves to go fast and tends to have a very, very consistent streak of making it all the way to the 3rd stage, and in Tournament 2 of this competition made it all the way up the tower and became the only champion of Rising Ninja Warrior. He's currently on skyhooks and will make that second transition. Not as efficient of a strategy as we saw from Andrastical and Basebeak, but gets through either way, and we'll have about 55 seconds left for these next couple obstacles, and it is official that Sonic Curve has not been failed once this season, and that will not change as he, I think, missed the regen for the blocker, which we've seen a couple times here tonight. And now on to Razor's Edge, which has also not been failed once, and that streak will continue, and Razor's Edge has not been failed once this competition. Giant Chain, the only obstacle standing in his way, he slips up a bit, and Basebeak will advance to the second stage once again, and he will continue his journey for a possible back-to-back championship. Oh, thank goodness, it's finally done. Alright, what time is it? Oh, wait, hold on. Gotta stop this thing from recording. Oh god, it's 4 a.m.